he ever been in a coma? Has anything happened to him?
This moment, Cassie, I will advocate for you.
Jaguar Wright has long been a bold and outspoken figure in the music industry, never hesitating to call out major names and reveal their secrets. Known for her fearless truth-telling, she's often been the voice willing to say what others wouldn't. Now, with rumors circulating that she's preparing to testify in Diddy's trial, things are on the verge of getting even more tumultuous. If even a fraction of her allegations prove accurate, this could very well be the tipping point that leads to Diddy's long overdue reckoning.
Yeah. Okay, this is what I mean when I say people wake up every day and just volunteer lies. Diddy, how are we supposed to believe anything that comes out of your mouth? And furthermore, why should we not believe the rumors of things going in your mouth when you out here volunteering bold-faced lies? You would still be lying to us right now if it was no video. You didn't even apologize to Cassie in the video.
Jaguar Wright's disdain for Diddy is legendary and has been simmering for years. She's accused him of everything from destroying careers to wreaking havoc on lives. Known for her fiery demeanor and blunt commentary, Wright has consistently targeted Diddy, alleging that his entire empire is built on manipulation, deceit, and even criminal activities. Her claims aren't just speculation. Wright has repeatedly suggested that she knows far more about Diddy's past than anyone else dares to acknowledge.
Nor did you apologize for lying that you didn't do what you knew you was on tape doing. So who was this apology for? I'll tell you who it was for. Diddy's ego, Diddy's brand. Diddy and his handlers are looking at this all wrong. You're trying to salvage his professional career.
Consider the case of Kim Porter. When she tragically passed away, Jaguar Wright was among the first to express doubt. She openly questioned the circumstances of Porter's death, suggesting potential involvement from Diddy in interviews. Although there's never been concrete evidence linking him to Porter's passing, Wright's insistence has sparked numerous conspiracy theories online. Wright knows how to plant seeds of doubt, and she's done just that with Diddy, portraying him as a villain whose time has finally come. It's clear that Jaguar Wright doesn't easily let things go. From calling out Alicia Keys for perceived sellout behavior to criticizing the Roots for their complicity in the music industry's shady practices, she's consistently stood her ground against powerful figures like Diddy. Now, with the chance to speak out in court, Wright is set to deliver a potentially devastating blow. But how did Diddy, once the celebrated icon of hip-hop, find himself on the brink of losing everything? To understand this, we need to revisit the early days of his rise to power, a journey marked by broken promises, ruined careers, and a trail of both literal and metaphorical casualties.
So when is it possible that we would actually see him being arrested or facing any of these indictments? Could it be months down the line?
I feel that it would be months down the line. I would not be surprised if it was before the end of this year. Because again, this is going to be a massive investigation involving at least 3 states, much as we saw in the Epstein case.
Diddy's story is one of ruthless ambition. From the moment he entered the music industry, it was evident that he wasn't just another artist or producer. He was determined to do whatever it took to reach the top. Starting his career at Uptown Records under Andrew Harrell, a name Jaguar Wright has frequently cited, Diddy quickly made a name for himself. Though not always in a favorable light, Wright has painted him as a backstabbing opportunist, suggesting that even in those early days, he was already maneuvering behind the scenes. When Diddy was dismissed from Uptown Records, he didn't let it derail him. Instead, he leveraged the connections he had made to launch his own label, Bad Boy Records. By the 1990s, Bad Boy Records had become a powerhouse, thanks to artists like the Notorious Big and Faith Evans. However, according to Wright and other insiders, Diddy's success wasn't solely due to his talent and business savvy. It was also driven by fear, manipulation, and a ruthless determination to eliminate anyone who threatened his empire. Rumors have circulated that Diddy was more than just a record executive. He was alleged to have orchestrated street-level violence to protect his interests and neutralize his rivals. While much of this talk remains speculative, It's hard to overlook the number of people close to him who have ended up either deceased or in ruin.
It's too many coincidences.
Too many.
Take the notorious Big, for instance. His murder remains unsolved, but speculation has long swirled that Diddy knew more than he publicly admitted. Some theories even suggest that Diddy might have sacrificed Biggie to safeguard his own career during the East Coast-West Coast rap feud that was tearing the music industry apart in the 1990s. Jaguar Wright has frequently touched on this notion in her online rants, hinting that Diddy's survival amid the chaos was no mere coincidence. While others fell, including Biggie, Diddy continued to rise, something Wright attributes to more than just luck. She suggests that Diddy's connection to the infamous Tupac and Biggie murders might be closer than he would like people to believe. By the early 2000s, Diddy's empire was more dominant than ever. But behind the glamorous parties, hit records, and larger-than-life persona, rumors of darker practices grew louder. Allegations of unpaid royalties, accusations of contract manipulation, and a steady stream of lawsuits that were always settled quietly became commonplace. According to Wright, these issues were just the tip of the iceberg. She has consistently pointed out that Diddy's legal team has been top-notch for decades, keeping him perpetually one step ahead of the law.
There's a lot of evidence to gather over many years, but is it possible that a federal indictment could be just around the corner?
I would hesitate to say just around the corner, because with all of the experience I've had with these office approaches cases, they do not move until they have you fully, like they have you dead to rights.
And then there's the shadow cast by Kim Porter's death. Jaguar Wright wasn't alone in raising suspicions when Porter passed away in 2018, initially reported as a result of pneumonia. The fact that Porter had been working on a tell-all book at the time only intensified the speculation. Wright has consistently suggested that Porter's death wasn't accidental and has hinted at possible involvement from Diddy. Whether there's any truth to these claims remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. Diddy's name has been connected to too many untimely deaths for these associations to be easily dismissed.
He has people followed. He has people watched. He does all kinds of and he's a piece of shit.
As Jaguar Wright prepares to potentially testify, Diddy's past is being exposed like never before. This isn't just about one woman's accusations. It's about decades of alleged crimes, abuse, and manipulation going unpunished. Wright's voice has become a rallying cry for those who have been hurt by Diddy, for the artists he's exploited, and for those who believe his reign of terror is finally coming to an end. Even Cassie, who endured years of abuse in her relationship with Diddy, seems to support this view. Her recent lawsuit, accusing him of assault and mistreatment, has reopened wounds that many thought had healed. Jaguar Wright has been one of Cassie's most vocal advocates, denouncing the industry for its long-standing failure to address Diddy's alleged actions. "It's a shame it took Cassie's courage to make everyone listen," remarked one fan in a YouTube comment, underscoring the grim reality that Diddy's alleged behavior has been an open secret in the industry for far too long. This is precisely what Wright has been arguing for years, that everyone knew, but no one wanted to take action.
Because, see, I know something that a lot of people don't know. I know that you and Kim Porter had a sit-down right before she left us.
But now, thanks to Jaguar Wright, the tide is finally turning. Increasingly, more people are coming forward, inspired by her outspoken revelations and the growing number of lawsuits against Diddy. It's no longer just about the music. It's about seeking justice. Wright's public declarations, coupled with Diddy's mounting legal battles, are painting a picture of a man whose empire is rapidly unraveling.
Possibility that he walks away clean from this, that everything is dropped and he faces no charges or any prison time?
Not impossible. I mean, anything is possible, but I don't see that happening. I see him kind of going the path of R. Kelly, where, again, for so many decades, he was able to act with impunity and just, with harming so many.
Wright has consistently spotlighted the hypocrisy within the industry, questioning how Diddy was permitted to engage in behavior that would have ended anyone else's career. She has emphasized how he wielded his power as a weapon, silencing anyone who dared to speak out against him. Fans have rallied behind her, not just because of her allegations, but because of her approach, raw, unfiltered, and undeniably authentic. In an industry dominated by polished PR statements and carefully curated images, she is a breath of fresh air. Now, as Wright stands on the brink of potentially testifying against Diddy, it feels like the culmination of years of her efforts. She has long called out the hypocrisy and criminal behavior in the music industry, and with Diddy finally facing the consequences of his actions, it's clear that the reckoning she's been forecasting is finally upon us.
For what's trending in true crime, nearly 30 years after the death of legendary rapper Tupac Shakur, the man accused of his murder is now claiming that Sean Diddy Combs once ordered a hit on the rap icon. In a recent court filing, a 2009 interview between police and Dwayne "Keefy D" Davis is making headlines yet again.
But this is just the beginning. If Wright's testimony unfolds as anticipated, it could pave the way for even more revelations about Diddy's past. Wright has hinted at other dark secrets, names, dates, and events that have yet to be unveiled. As Diddy's world begins to unravel, it's impossible not to wonder how many more people might be implicated and how many more careers could be destroyed in the fallout.
So why do you think they tied Diddy name to it?
Because it makes the East Coast and West Coast war works for the authorities and for the news media. Didn't no cops do that. It was an East Coast, West Coast war, and it was a drive-by shooting. It was never no damn drive-by shooting.
With Jaguar Wright's potential testimony on the horizon, there's a growing sense that the revelations might extend beyond Diddy's past. They could unravel an entire web of secrets that have been concealed for decades. The lawsuits and allegations surrounding Diddy, though shocking, might only be the beginning. The shadow of Tupac Shakur's 1996 assassination, one of the most infamous and mysterious events in hip-hop history, has recently been thrust back into the spotlight. The long unasked question is now finally being raised. Was Diddy involved in Shakur's death? And if so, just how deep does this rabbit hole go?
Now, Combs has long denied any involvement with Tupac's murder. He's never been charged. Our question this morning, how believable is Keefy D's Diddy accusation?
For years, speculation has swirled around Diddy's involvement in the East Coast-West Coast rap feud that resulted in the deaths of both Tupac Shakur and the Notorious Big. This conspiracy theory has captivated fans and insiders alike. Was Diddy the mastermind behind Bad Boy Records, orchestrating, or at least aware of, the assassination of his major rival, Shakur? With these rumors resurfacing and new investigations into old assassinations, Diddy's name is once again in the spotlight. What was once idle gossip is now starting to feel like the long silent whispers are becoming deafening screams.
They pressing him so bad, and I don't know how I should say this, that a couple of weeks ago, a week or two ago, they beat him up in jail. The cops.
Keefy D, a former insider and a long-standing figure in the Shakur assassination case, has publicly claimed that Diddy offered a $1 million bounty to have Shakur taken out in the 1990s. Keefy D even confessed to being in the car that gunned down Shakur on that fateful night in Las Vegas. These are serious allegations, and while Diddy has consistently denied any involvement, the timing of these revelations, combined with the current wave of lawsuits and investigations, suggests a much darker narrative. If Jaguar Wright testifies, she could potentially connect these dots, delivering a blow that might finally bring down Diddy's empire once and for all.
Ultimately, how these accusations have to be viewed right now, because we've had, almost 15 years, and the police have not connected Diddy to these accusations. There may be some truth to them, there may not, but right now, there obviously hasn't been enough for the police to make an arrest.
Let's not forget that Diddy was at the epicenter of the 1990s hip-hop wars. His rivalry with Death Row Records, led by Suge Knight, was more than just a musical conflict. It was intensely personal, heated, and dangerous. It's no coincidence that Diddy emerged relatively unscathed, while figures like Tupac Shakur and the Notorious Big ended up dead. Whether or not he directly ordered a hit, the fact remains that Diddy benefited from Shikker's assassination, a point Jaguar Wright has repeatedly suggested, hinting that Diddy's hands may not be as clean as he claims. Rumors have circulated for years about Diddy's connections with gang members, suggesting that his ties with the Crips extended beyond mere business dealings. It's alleged that he used these connections for protection, and that they may have influenced the East Coast-West Coast feud. The situation gets even murkier when considering that it's not just Shikker's assassination under scrutiny, but the entire web of violence and corruption that surrounded Diddy during his rise to power.
It may be some truth to it. But this dude is raping grown men. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we can laugh at it, but, you know, it sounds like it's true. I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and he did go to prison, and he offered the inmate $2.3 million to settle the case. So,
with KD's allegations back in the spotlight and Jaguar Wright's potential testimony on the horizon, we might finally be witnessing the first cracks in Diddy's meticulously crafted public persona. Diddy has always presented himself as the ultimate survivor, the king who navigated and outlasted the rap game's most dangerous era. But what if that survival came at the expense of others' lives? And what if the truth is now catching up with him?
I come right till today, right now, nobody knows what Kim Porter phone is.
One of the most unsettling aspects of this entire saga is that Diddy's name is linked not only to Tupac Shikker's assassination, but also to a troubling pattern of deaths and ruined lives that seem to follow him. Kim Porter's sudden demise in 2018 is one of the most striking examples. Porter, Diddy's longtime partner and the mother of 3 of his children, passed away at the age of 47. Officially, the cause of death was pneumonia, but the fact that Porter was working on a tell-all memoir at the time raised suspicions. Jaguar Wright was among the first to highlight how convenient it was for Diddy that Porter never had the chance to release her book. According to Wright, the memoir could have exposed Diddy's darkest secrets, making Porter's untimely death all the more suspicious. Or
that case needs to be reopened, man. The case really needs to be reopened.
one of the most unsettling aspects of this entire saga is that Diddy's name is linked not only to Tupac Shakur's assassination, but also to a troubling pattern of deaths and ruined lives that seem to follow him. Kim Porter's sudden demise in 2018 is one of the most striking examples. Porter, Diddy's longtime partner and the mother of 3 of his children, passed away at the age of 47. Officially, the cause of death was pneumonia, but the fact that Porter was working on a tell-all memoir at the time raised suspicions. Jaguar Wright was among the first to highlight how convenient it was for Diddy that Porter never had the chance to release her book. According to Wright, the memoir could have exposed Diddy's darkest secrets, making Porter's untimely death all the more suspicious.
But that's Kim's story. That's Kim's book. That's Kim's book. Then you heard about the fact that he broke Kim's nose on a yacht?
Wow, I ain't hear about that.
But the issue extends beyond Kim Porter. Diddy's entire career is marked by a trail of people who have been left broken, betrayed, or worse. Take, for instance, Al B. Shore, who recently had a near-death experience. Shore was once a close associate of Diddy and also Kim Porter's former partner. Jaguar Wright has suggested that Shore's brush with death might not have been as accidental as it appears. According to Wright, there's a troubling pattern here. Anyone who gets too close to Diddy or knows too much about his true activities seems to end up silenced, one way or another.
It was all, insecurities. Anytime a man would go out his way to wiretap someone's phone or put taps in their homes just to monitor their conversation, that's a sign of insanity. So when you see someone doing that, you can imagine everything else they do.
It's also worth noting that 3 out of the 5 founding members of Uptown Records, Andrew Harrell, Heavy D, and Kim Porter, are now deceased. Al B. Sure also came close to death, leaving Diddy as the last man standing. Jaguar Wright has been outspoken about this, pointing out how odd it is that the people closest to Diddy have been disappearing while he continues to prosper. Isn't that interesting? Wright asked in one of her infamous interviews. It's a rhetorical question that implies something far more sinister. Diddy's survival may not be a matter of luck but of calculation. As more lawsuits pile up against him, Diddy's empire appears to be collapsing from within. The recent Cassie lawsuit has particularly shocked the industry. Cassie's allegations of assault and years of mistreatment by Diddy have shattered the carefully crafted image he has maintained for so long. For years, Cassie was viewed as Diddy's protege and partner, but behind the scenes, their relationship seems to have been far from glamorous. Jaguar Wright has been a staunch supporter of Cassie, lauding her bravery in coming forward and exposing the truth. It's about time, Wright has said, and many fans agree. I love her. I watch everything she says. She knows what's really been going on, and I believe her, commented one fan, reflecting the growing sentiment that Diddy's time is finally up. Or
he broke him, let's say allegedly, but it was told by people in her camp that he broke Kim's nose on a yacht. So Cassie's story is Kim's story. Cassie's book is Kim's book.
Wright has emphasized that Diddy's downfall is not merely about one lawsuit or a single testimony. It's about uncovering a systemic culture of corruption and abuse that has festered for decades. With Wright's potential testimony and the ongoing investigations into Shaker's assassination, the full extent of Diddy's alleged crimes might finally come to light. And if that happens, Diddy won't be the only one to face consequences. Wright has suggested that there are other prominent figures in the industry connected to Diddy's web of deceit. If Diddy falls, he could drag many others down with him. This is the music industry we're talking about, a realm notorious for covering up scandals, protecting the powerful, and silencing victims. If Wright's testimony and the current investigations lead to a complete unraveling of Diddy's empire, it could trigger a flood of new revelations. What other secrets are lurking, waiting to be exposed? How many careers were built on the exploitation of silenced victims? The shadow of Shaker's assassination is just one piece of a larger, more sinister puzzle. As more voices begin to emerge, it's becoming increasingly apparent that Diddy's empire was constructed on more than just music. It was built on fear, manipulation, and violence. Fans are starting to connect the dots, realizing that the Diddy they've idolized for so long might not be the man they thought he was. Or
not really put their hands on women really is men who have feminine traits. So, it really takes a coward to put his hands on a woman. So, a man is so strong enough, we can just walk away. You can do, it's so many different things that you can do other than get upset, put your hands on a woman. But that comes from a man who's not quite a grown man.
Wright's potential testimony could be the tipping point, the moment when all the rumors, allegations, and whispers finally burst into the public eye. When that happens, it's impossible to predict who else might be caught in the fallout. One thing is certain: Diddy's time is running out, and as the saying goes, the truth always comes to light. With everything we've uncovered about Diddy's dark past and Jaguar Wright's potential testimony, the big question remains: could this truly be the end for him? Do you believe Wright's claims will finally bring justice, or is there still a chance Diddy might escape unscathed? Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time. Or